we have people from all different professions, and it's therapeutic. It's yes, bless you. It's they're finding their inner voice, creativity that they may not get in everyday life, and you know what I think is a creativity that everybody was born with and used to play with all the time, and then somehow that just kind of got tamped down, and I don't know. School intervened. School, like, it wasn't fun anymore. It's not appropriate. Be quiet. Do your work. You know. And so, it sounds like a cliche to talk about releasing your inner child, but that really is a lot of what it is, because there's a lot of playfulness that has to happen. And if you're not willing to play, what's the point? And there's a lot of risk taking that has to happen. So, if you're not willing to take a risk, you're not going to create anything great. And you listen to established actors talk that are really actors, not, I mean, there's movie stars and there's actors, and sometimes they're the same. And sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're just stars, and they, you know, their star fades. But the ones that stay are because they're looking for something more than the fame. They're looking for some inner thing that they can reach out and communicate with the rest of the world like that. I think that what art does is it unifies us, you know, and that's why would somebody want to go to a movie that makes them cry? It reminds you that you're human. It reminds, we're the only animal, as far as we know, that have emotions as nuanced as this. So we like to be reminded of it. We like to be frightened. We like to have love, and it reminds us, and it unifies us in our shared humanity. And so film is hard, mostly in that it's tedious, and that you have to find that impulse that we were working on earlier. You have to find it, and then again, reset, and then again. You know, you have to keep finding ways to rediscover what it's easy to do just once when someone really surprises you, but then to be able to recreate that again and again. Plays are hugely important, especially for young people who maybe the only thing that they are exposed to is film, television, and God help us, reality television. So that it looks like easy money, it looks like easy fame. They really have no sense of the discipline that's involved in doing it well. And in film, you get it wrong, they can do it again, or, you know, and you get it wrong again. I mean, a good editor and a good director can make somebody look really good if they're not. So, especially for kids who don't get the opportunity to see theater, and especially because the arts funding has been so decimated by, you know, just everywhere. Because I used to have a touring theater that went around all over the country in Canada that went to schools, and a lot of kids, it was the first time they'd ever seen anything, and they'd be helping us move in the sets, and they'd say, when's the movie going to start? And they just really had no clue that there was anything beyond that. And it changed so many lives. It changed so many lives, and it was heartbreaking when funding just dried up, and corporations didn't pick up the slack, and government didn't pick up the slack, and just, so there's so little of that now. But through classes, and then getting excited about it and putting on their own plays, they can do that. And then they can maybe also do their own movies and do their own stuff on YouTube. I mean, that's the nice thing that the digital age has brought us, is that you can put stuff up there, but you want it to be good. How do you make it good? You got to learn what makes it, you know, everybody, like Picasso is a good example. You look at his paintings, which are like, what? But he could do a portrait of you that looked like a photograph if he wanted to. He learned that first, and then he chose to go off in a different direction. And that's the thing, is that kids especially need to learn there's a discipline to it, there's a craft to it, there's methodology to it, and you need to be willing to take risks. You don't get to just sit in a corner and say, you know, I don't want to, I feel stupid, I'm too shy, or whatever, because that's the stuff that makes it interesting. That's the stuff the audience is hungry for. That's what unites our humanity. And so for kids, I think it's hugely important to be exposed to this real life kind of thing in a class and in a play, and then realize the discipline of it. And that becomes life lessons that will serve you always. The ability to start with nothing and create something. You did that, and now you can do that in any field. and you've learned how to solve problems creatively. You've learned how to think outside the box. You've learned how to work with other people. You've learned how to use your imagination again, which you knew once,
Right.
until it kind of got drummed out of you. So, but that's what I wanted to say.